Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to the hopefully quick Zombicide Massive Darkness crossover pack. So I already went through parts 1 and 2 where we're showing off the Massive Darkness characters that can be brought into Zombicide, Black Plague, or Green Horde if you have this pack. I have previously done this video where I just showed off all the cards and the abilities, but now that I actually have Zombicide stuff, I've been re-going through all of them. So part 1 and 2 went over each of these survivors half and half, and I went over and discussed all their abilities, all that. And then I realized those were getting long, so we're going to do a part 3 where we're going to go through the villains. So all of the villains will be abominations, so they're going to have the same backs as normal cards. So you can mix and match them in. And we will look at them along with their miniatures and what their abilities do. Now, these guys are all abominations, so of course it says to use the Massive Darkness to roaming monsters and bosses as abominations in the Black Plague or Green Horde. Simply add your corresponding card, shuffle it, and then reminder, a damage weapon 3 or dragon fire is required to kill an abomination. Cool, so let's go ahead and start with them. I'm going to start with the smaller characters. Now, this only took characters from Massive Darkness 2. It didn't bring, like, the survivors. It brings every single survivor from the Massive Darkness 1, Massive Darkness 2, the Kickstarter exclusive stuff, the expansion packs. All of them are available. This only brings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 characters, and they're all from Massive Darkness 2. It doesn't bring every single thing, every single, you don't get to bring any of the spawns in there, you don't get to, I think you did that because there's not enough, because usually most, like, walkers and everything have, like walkers and runners have usually about 14, 15, and there's just not enough miniatures for that. Plus, it wouldn't make as much sense. And then I think the other thing is with the abominations, they didn't bring everything from Massive Darkness 1 over. Just because lots of it I think would be the same exact thing. They'd just be a different sculpt. So I think you could go ahead and just work them as different sculpts if you wanted to. Although it would have been cool if they would have made special abilities for all of them, but unfortunately they didn't. Alright, so we have Horsemen to begin with. We're going to get 4 Horsemen cards. So all of these guys as abominations are just going to summon in the... their cards are just going to show they summon in the red, yellow, or orange spots. Nothing ever in blue. But they do have special abilities listed on these sheets. I wish I would have given us extra cards that had them. So if we look at the Horsemen, they're going to say, well, Horseman is in play. No survivor can perform a magic or enhancement action. 1 action, 2 damage, 5 experience. Now, for the miniatures, it says you can use any of the 4 Horsemen. So we have Plague here. We also have Pestilence or Famine. This is Famine, I believe. No, this is... Yeah, this is Pestilence. And this is Famine. And then I might have those 2 backwards. And then finally we have War. So you could pick any one of the models to use, or you could have one summon for each different Horseman card, which actually kind of a neat gameplay mode. Do you have to defeat all 4 Horsemen? So you could have, even when you draw one of the cards, you could be like, if you defeated a Horseman, you remove that card from the play. But until you defeat it, if you draw another one, it just summons another Horseman. It doesn't give them an extra activation. So that'd be kind of neat, because eventually you could have all 4 Horsemen out, which would be kind of crazy. So that could be a little bit different mode you could play with them. Let's look at our next sports. We're going to get 4 different ones for that. I'm not going to go show off each one, because they're all the same, but we have Queen Candaria, or Candaria? She's a bug-like queen. I know I'm butchering her name, and my brain's just not working on how to pronounce that right. It's, I know it's wrong. So apologize in the comments. Please don't bother to correct me, because I know I said it wrong. But what does she do for us? She says, all combat actions in target range of 1 to 0 roll 2 less dice. She basically has some extra defense. So yeah, so just fun little abilities like this are kind of cool. Our next one we have is, of course, our fun Care Bear. We have Hug Bear. So this is off one of the other expansion packs. Here's big old Hug Bear here. Now, these guys are definitely going to start taking up multiple tiles as the bigger they are. You can see how big he is. So he's going to probably take up more than one zone at a time. So he has Hug Bear counts as 2 zombies for the purpose of survivors leaving his zone. So it's kind of, yeah, again, these are kind of fun. They're just, here's an abomination. They just have a quick extra little special rule. A little different sculpt if you're getting tired looking at the same. 4 from the base game. We have 4 Banshees. And here's the other thing you can kind of include in here. Is like, so like the base game you have probably just 4 Abomination cards. You can swap out that Abomination card, whatever it's called, for one of these. Or you could have, if you only want 4 in there, you could have 4 different cards. And it gives you a bunch of different options. That is one thing I like about Zombicide, the modern 2.0 rules, and what like Dead West and the newer ones are doing. Instead of having special things like this, they just have a card that says Abomination. Then you pick from a deck of Abomination cards. So I would, if they ever make a Black Plague 2.0 and they update to the Zombicide 2.0 or second edition rules, I really hope they update these cards as well. But here we have a Banshee. So, like, now, if I had the overall flavor of everything, I would love if she did something where she summoned spectral zombies. It would be really cool. So, after Banshee's activation, any survivor with a noise token is killed. Then each survivor in range 0 to 1 receives a noise token. Remove all noise tokens if the Banshee is killed. So that's actually pretty crazy. She can just straight up kill everything. She can produce noise tokens. So basically you have to move, but you don't want to be on the same spot that meets a noise token. So if you fire a gun, or you break open a door, or you just make some noise, you're going to want to move out of that spot because that'll count as well. Now it would have been neat if they would have made it so like her thing was a special noise token, instead, but that's kind of what it is. And then we have 4 Cerberus. Or Cerberus. So we have 4 Hellfire Dogs. With the snake tail. So 3-headed dog that guards hell. And what does he do for us? When moving, Cerberus moves 2 zones or stops when it reaches a survivor. After activation, the survivor in the same wound as Cerberus suffers 1 wound. So he gets an extra movement. But then after activation, if they're in the same room, so he does. So he gets to move 2 zones. That's pretty cool. And then if he's still there, he gets 2 damage. You don't want to stick around with him too long. Alright, so then the final 2 are a little bit crazier, which is why I saved them for the end. First, we have 4 cards here for the Reaper. Yes, this is the Grim Reaper. And I'm going to have to move this to show off his miniature because he's a lot bigger. We'll have to zoom out a little bit. But yes, tentacled monstrosity. The big giant cross-like scythe. This is the Reaper. He is going to try and destroy you. And what does the Reaper do? Now this is a boss for the game, not one of the regular bigger guys. That's why he's so crazy. So the Reaper says, the Reaper performs 2 actions per activation, just like runners. After their activation, all survivors adjacent zones, in adjacent zones in line of sight suffer 1 wound. So he gets to move or act twice, but if he can see you, he's going to deal extra damage to you. 2 actions and 2 damage. Everyone else has only been doing 1 damage, with the exception of the Horseman, and potentially the Banshee, who also has 2 actions. Which is weird, I didn't even notice that. She has 2 actions. That's not right. But yeah, the Reaper can do some extra things. Then our final one is Bailiff, who is our big boss for Massive Darkness. And big in not just the terms of toughness, but the miniature is one of the big guys. So like compared to Cerberus here. Yeah, this is a demon lord of hell. Giant snake tail. He is, he's deadly. So he does, after activation, if Bailiff has at least 1 survivor in line of sight, it chooses the closest survivor in line of sight, deals 1 damage to each other survivor at range 1 to 2. So now where the Reaper's just going to straight up do extra damage over see, he takes control of someone, and then they do extra damage. So he doesn't do stuff himself, but he takes control of everybody else. Which is pretty crazy. Although I wish he had more health for that reason. I do want to show this off just because he was sitting right here, and this is the end of this video. This is Bailiff, the big boss of Massive Darkness 2. This is the necrotic dragon from No Rest for the Wicked. So you can see how big they are compared to each other. And that dragon has some devastating abilities. So I really wish that these guys maybe had, like, maybe him or the Reaper. Reaper's actually pretty badass. But I wish Bailiff here had a little bit better ability. But yeah, still definitely cool. Alright, so that's what we got for the fantasy Zombicide crossover. Hope you guys enjoyed all 3 of these. I will, in the future, I will post ones that show the other direction. Now that I have all the Zombicide miniatures, I will show all of the miniatures that from the Zombicide game that can be used in Massive Darkness. So look forward to that. Bye.